Welcome back to the DNX show, and today we're going to be talking all about the Hangtown National. All right, so Doc, what was your main takeaway from the 450 class?
I think Eli Tomac has finally met his match outdoors with, obviously I'm talking about Jett, but at the same time, I feel like Jett has finally met his match outdoors. I've never seen Tomac. I mean, obviously we see Tomac beast mode at times, but to me, watching through the years, I see a sense of urgency and determination in Tomac from when the gate drops to the checkered flag that I don't know that I've ever seen. Like, he's trying to prove a point. And I've also seen Jett rolling over for third to try and play the long game. I think is something new that we would not have seen last year because he didn't really need to, right? Like, he was just going to win last year. And
2 years ago.
2 years ago, you know what I'm saying? And and last year when he was racing, I feel like I'm seeing a different Jett. I don't know if it's just the level of respect that they both have for each other that I don't know. They both just seem like they're trying at a different level than I've seen in the past.
My main takeaway was Jett is actually human. Now, we saw what he did at Paula. Got whole shot. He led everything. Even in when watching, his bike didn't look that great, but he still managed to figure out ways to beat Tomac in that second moto, right? Come to Hangtown, one, he didn't get the start. He got into third, and then he just stayed there. We never see that by Jett. We never seen him settle, I guess you would kind of say, and just play that long game, as you mentioned. I've never seen that by Jett. Every single thing I have watched from Jett has been the urgency to get to first. And this is the first time I think he's realized, hey, I don't need to be perfect. This is a long season. I'm going to settle for this third and potentially figure out ways to make that second moto better. And I would like to see if it happens again in, say, the second moto, he has a good first moto, but then he just doesn't have that pace in the second moto. Is he going to go overboard, go over 100% and try to get a win? I would like to see that in the future, but it's honestly actually cool to see him be human. We don't normally see that, and I actually really love that he's going to play that long game.
Take Tomac out of this season. I don't see Jett rolling over for a P2 to AP. I think Jett goes and tries to prove a point and beats AP. I think that they're both in each other's heads, right? In a good way, where Jett knows that he has to play a different game to beat Tomac. And same thing, take Jett out of this equation. I don't think we see Tomac sending it that hard after getting a bad start.
Especially in that second one. I think he would take a little bit more patience to go, because I think maybe Tomac realized, oh, Jett's out front. I got to make quick work of this. And that definitely play a factor in going it down for him.
I still think Tomac would have gone to the front if Jett wasn't there, but dude, there was a clear sense of now is the time. I have to go right now. And I just, in the past, I don't know, it seemed like he got a bad start, and then it was you see, I don't forget who it was, the bottom of the turn, Tomac slammed the guy in the rut.
Crucio. Yep.
That's not super Tomac to me. Tomac doesn't really get that kind of physical. I mean, obviously he does at times, but especially not for 15th when he was clearly faster and he would have got around him. There was such a sense of urgency that I just feel like you take Tomac out. I don't think Jett rolls over like that. Now, we got to put some respect on AP's name. Okay, we'll get to that. But I don't know. I feel like I'm seeing a different side of both of them that we've never seen before.
I think it's the same thing what we saw last year at Hangtown with Chase, right? Take for what you're saying about Jett. Jett would be doing exactly what Chase did and go to first. He would not settle for a second. What Chase did, right? And I think Tomac realizes hey, Jett's out front. Oh my God, I gotta go 110% every single lap just to even catch him. And it's going to make for a great battle towards the end. Obviously, we saw that beast mode in that second moto. Well, let me rephrase that. We actually saw that in the first moto too. The last 5 minutes, we saw his beast mode. And that was an impressive ride. I feel bad for AP because that's 2 years in a row that he lost on the second to last lap. So very, very sad about that. But we saw a little beast mode in first moto, and then we saw beast mode happening in that second moto with until like I think it was 15 minutes left when he crashed. And I think that crash is a cause because he was pushing too hard and just didn't, maybe he trusted the track and trusted his bike a little bit too much and just kind of washed the front, and he went down, and it was history after that. But I will say that if he doesn't go down, I'm not saying he's going to get Jett, but I think he would 100% get I think it was AP in second, right? Or yeah, I think it was AP in second.
No, it was J Coop.
J Coop, excuse me. I think he would have 100% get J Coop. Like, he would be going in a second and then get first overall. It kind of sucks that he went down. I feel kind of bad for him because he was ripping. He should have got on the podium at least in that race. But at least he's healthy. He didn't hurt anything, and he's going to be battling at Lakewood.
I mean, I was just going to ask you, do you think he would have got to the lead? I don't think he would have either. I don't think, especially with the 5 minutes, I think if he would have got to the back of Jett would have turned it up a little bit. I do think he could have got second. I mean, just out of like pure determination, I think Tomac would have made that happen. The other thing, dude, his bike looks terrible. Both of their bikes look terrible. Jett's bike in that first moto looked like an MX bike's like weird physics. It looked terrible. It looked absolutely terrifying to ride. Tomac's bike does not look good at all. I don't know. Maybe he's comfy. I've talked to so many people, and every single person has said that, like, man, that bike looks really bad. And they were saying it on the broadcast. If you watch that moto back and you look at AP's bike through the same section versus Tomac's bike, I think if they figure Tomac's bike out, he'll be like a major issue. But I kind of feel like the same thing if they figure Jett's, like, if Jett figures his bike out 2 or 3 rounds before Tomac does, Jett's going to win all those races. If Tomac figures his bike out 2 or 3 rounds before Jett does, he's going to win all those races.
Yeah, and that's what makes it very interesting for Jett being human, because he realized his setup wasn't on point and he's not going to risk it. Yes, the weather played a little bit of a factor, being over 100 degrees. But regardless, I think normally Jett would have gone after the lead 100% no matter what. But that's why my takeaway is he's actually human. He's actually going to be patient, and he's going to play the long game, which is actually really cool to see and really fun to see. And now with Jett, I don't know if you knew this, but he has won every single race that he's been in besides Hangtown last year. I'm saying overalls, not necessarily motos, but he's won every single overall besides Hangtown last year. That's like 16 out of 17 races, bro. That's insane. That's nuts. Like, it's crazy.
I don't know. I wasn't really expecting to like this rivalry as much as I do. I think it's because it's so polar opposite, right? Like Jett, looking at Jett, he looks like he's going so slow compared to Tomac, and somehow they come out like the same speed or Jett's. So it's really fun to watch because like you get like both dynamics of the sport, just absolutely just raw dogging, wide open, goes through a clutch every single race, and then you can't even hear his bike on the other side, like, you know, when he's right behind you. It's really cool, and they both seem to like respect each other a lot, and like it's a really cool rivalry. It might be one of my like favorites of all time, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm just very excited to see what goes on in the future, man. Like,
Just don't get
Lakewood's
hurt,
coming
boys.
up. Yeah, like that's the
Either
really
of you,
thing.
you know?
And now I definitely think that other guys can play a huge factor in this battle, 100%, like AP and J Coop. Like, don't get me wrong, I definitely feel that. But I think when it comes down to it, we're just going to see 2 guys go head to head for the rest of the year.
Both those guys you just mentioned are riding. I mean, I think they're getting overlooked big time because of the 2 major names. They're both riding really, really well, which I'll get into a little bit. But yeah, I mean, those guys keep doing stuff like they did at Hangtown. One of them rolls over, settles. One of them has tips over or has a bad start. I think J Coop and AP are in their own little the pressure's not really on them, as far as like nobody's looking at them to be title contenders. But there's AP in second in points, and J Coop's right there too. Like, I don't know, man. They might be up there. If the season continues like this, it might be a lot closer between the 4 of them than we think.
Which makes it very, very exciting. And I did hear a little rumor not to go off a little tangent, but I did hear a rumor that Chase might be back for Southwick. So throw that guy in the mix. It's going to be even crazier. Just saying.
Yeah, Jett. There's a segment at the end of this that we're calling hot takes, and that you'll see. Stick around.
But anyways, okay, so let's talk about the 250 class now. What was your takeaway from the 250 class?
So I want you to know how this works, chat. We have a little paper here or a little Excel sheet where we have notes that we write down for this. That way we can seem somewhat educated. For my takeaway for 250s, I wrote 4 words. Deegan is my dad. He's also your dad. He's also Josh's dad and the entire 250s father. So 250 class's dad.
He was phenomenal out there. First moto, not a horrible start, but like I think it was like 7th or 8th off the rip. Made every single pass within 10 minutes, got into the lead and just cruised. Amazing passing out there as well. Basically around the outside of on everybody, literally. And then second moto, got a really good start. He was like battling. I think he was like 3rd or 4th. Then we have that craziness with Lance, which is his buddy, doing the peace sign when Lance pulled whole shot. And then you had Deegan do it to him, and then they go over the tabletop. I think Deegan did like a thumbs up or maybe another peace sign or something like that. Yeah, you couldn't really see. I thought it was a thumbs up, but that was probably the most exciting thing of the day. Just that back and forth, which was freaking sick. But yeah, like I mentioned this in the last 2 videos that we've done like a review. Deegan might go undefeated. I told you guys if he got a 7th, 8th place start, he would still win the moto, and that's exactly what happened. Like, it might be called glazing, but he's the best guy in the class, man. I just don't know what to do about it.
You know, I was really impressed with his ride. I did, especially, okay, going into Hangtown, he's good at Hangtown. We knew it was going to be really hot. Deegan's kind of the favorite. Obviously, he went 1-1 at Paula. He would have been my favorite, even if he didn't go 1-1 at Paula for Hangtown, considering all those things. He's good at the track. It was super hot. Deegan seems like the strongest guy. But, dude, when he talked on the podium, and, like, that kid is sick. Like, sounded really bad, right? Like, that made me like, oh, man, you guys are cooked. Like, hot weather because you're from Arizona, right? Like, that dry heat, 105 at Hangtown, guys, there's no shade at Hangtown. Okay, it's a miserable track as a spectator. Like, being sick, it is so dry there. Oh, dude. Yeah, I don't know. I was really impressed with the ride, and then he got on the podium and talked, and he sounded literally terrible. Had to go to the A-Stars medical unit right after to get checked out. That was pure heart. And yeah, dude. I don't know. I'm kind of leaning on the undefeated thing too, but it's a little early.
I think personally, we get to halfway point and he's still undefeated. We gotta start actually like thinking about it. Like, I know we're just messing around now, but if we get to halfway point and he's undefeated, we gotta start talking realistic here about it.
He's kind of messing around too. You know what I'm saying? That's
yeah,
he's throwing peace. Like, I don't know. You see the whips he was throwing mid-moto? I mean, I think that's how he stays loose and, like, you know, keeps it light and fun. That's how he is so good. But it was just really impressive. When he needed to turn it on, he was so much faster than everybody. It wasn't even close, really.
I think the next best guy is Joe, and that's what my takeaway is Joe is the real deal. I mentioned this in the predictions. I had him off my podium because I was like, hey, is this a fluke thing? Okay, like, we've seen Joe do really well at Polo in the past, but then he doesn't back it up the next race. I think he backed it up 100% at Hangtown. He didn't have the greatest of starts. I think I actually mentioned in the first moto he was like 11th off the rip. He finished 2nd. He passed everybody. TV didn't show shit, which I would have made a clip on it, like Joe passing everybody. They didn't show one pass. Well, maybe did at the very end. But yeah, Joe is a real deal. I think he is right now, minus a couple of guys, is the only person that can battle Deegan for a win. And as of right this moment, I think the only way that happens if Deegan gets a horrible start, I mean, outside of the top 20, maybe tips over on the first lap, then Joe can win. As of right now, if Deegan even gets like a 15th place start, I think Deegan still figures out a way to win. but I think Joe has the potential to get it done in one of these motos.
And moving into our next segment is our biggest surprise. I have Joe for the 250 class, and it's not that I'm surprised that I'm surprised. I don't know. I'm surprised he backed it up in the conditions. It showed me that Joe is the whole package right now, right? Joe hasn't been one that I would have ever really struck as like super, super fit. Like obviously all these guys are super, super fit, but working through the pack, 103 degrees or whatever. If there was a weakness in Joe, I think we would have seen it at Hangtown. And I think he was just as strong, if not stronger than Paula. And so I'm pleasantly surprised that like, dude, he's the real deal. Now, they were talking about on the broadcast that like, oh man, Joe should be really excited that he kept the gap, what it was to Deegan in that second moto. Dude, I really don't think I think he's cruising. I think he's doing a Jett. I really think he's managing the gap.
I 100% agree with that. I think I said this in our watch party, like, oh, he's just managing. He's not going full speed. Like you just mentioned a little bit ago, he's having fun, throwing bad whips, throwing peace signs. He's not trying to go out there and beat these guys by 40 seconds in that heat. I know, like, he's not going to go try and do that. And 100% he's managing the race. I think he managed it at Paula too. Like he's looking back, kind of see where it is, see where he needs to pick it up, see where he's a little bit slower to pick up. And that's Deegan maturing outdoors. And that's what's going to allow him to possibly win all 11 overalls right there.
Yeah. I mean, you look at like how Deegan gets through the pack, how quickly he makes passes, and then he suddenly can only hold the 7-second lead. I mean, 7 seconds is huge. Don't get me wrong, but I'm saying, like, I really think Deegan was on the ground in 40th. He'd get to the front, no problem.
I think the thing is what he does. I don't know this 100%, but once he gets to the lead, he puts like 2, maybe 3 sprint laps down, and then he just manages the rest. Kind of similar to what Jett does. That's exactly what Jett does. He puts down sprint laps, and then he just manages the rest and picks his spots where he wants to go fast and picks his spots where he wants to breathe. And Deegan's picking up on that, and that's dangerous.
I was really, really impressed with both Joe, because Joe is the total package. Like I said, I think he is hands down the second best guy. Everyone else has fumbled bad already to the point where, like, dude, Kitchen, Bomer, or Tom trying to dig out of where they are is going to be like near impossible. Even honestly, even over Joe, who's just gone 2-2-2-2, right? Everyone else has been all over the place. Like, I don't know. Joe's the only other guy, but yeah, I don't know. I'm really impressed with Deegs. Like, obviously we knew he was going to be strong, but he just looks in control like nobody else. It's insane.
And that's why my original takeaway is Joe's the real deal. Like, he put a gap on third. Like, there was gaps in between Deegan and Joe. Like, you could see the first tier, then you got Joe's second tier, and then everybody else. And that was like a 10, 15-second gap to even Levi, right? At one point, I think in first moto. And that's why I think Joe can potentially get a win in the future, potentially.
It's crazy to think that Haiden wasn't here. Joe'd be undefeated.
That's crazy.
Like
a couple guys that we got to talk about, though, for my biggest surprise is the Gas Boys. Gas Boys showed up, at least in the first moto. Casey Cochran with an amazing start, pulled whole shot, and he was absolutely ripping out there for a while. He definitely faded. That's understandable with the heat, and he second race back and over, I think, so many days. I don't even remember how many days it was. But awesome to see him out front. That was my big surprise with his teammate Ryder D in the first moto. Both of them had really good starts. Unfortunate for Ryder D, Tommy V crashed and took his chance out for a top 10, which kind of sucks. We'll talk about that here in a bit. But really good to see them up front. I think, don't quote me, Casey Cochran had a really good start second moto. I think he was in second behind Lance. I'm pretty sure, but I don't remember where Ryder D started in the second moto. I think he was up there a little bit, but yeah, just good to see them out front. Good to see them have that potential. We saw a little bit of Casey last year at Millville. Hopefully he can repeat it at Lakewood. I think that'd be sick. But yeah, just kind of my big surprise out there.
I'll tell you who else I was surprised with, and we'll move over to 450 class, is very similar to Joe. Did well last week and then backed it up in gnarly conditions, is RJ. Like, considering his hand and all the things and very little time on a 450, like, dude, RJ might be a dog on a 450 like next year. I don't know, man.
When he's actually healthy, bro.
Like when he's healthy and like has time on the bike and like really knows how to ride a 450, RJ might be like a problem.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that could be a surprise, you know, like for us, because RJ went 6'8". He beat out Prado, beat out Anderson. He doesn't have much time on the bike. I'm talking about RJ here, but that's insane. But I think my big surprise was AP. AP came out to play. Now, obviously, it's not necessarily a crazy surprise. He did really good at Paula. He got 4th overall. But what more I'm surprised about is his amazing start. He even mentioned that, hey, I'm going to pull a whole shot and I'm going to go win this. And he basically backed it up besides beast mode Tomac. And he even backed it up in that second moto as well, getting a 3rd place. Like, and him getting 2nd overall, 2nd in the points right now over Tomac, which we thought that would be insanity if someone said that 2nd round. I know it's still freaking early, I get it, but AP rode phenomenal. I'm bummed that he didn't get a moto win. It was just a bummer. And then you can see him, he mentioned on the broadcast that he thought it was 2 laps to go when Tomac got right behind him the lap prior to the 2 laps to go. So he thought he had that in the bag and just miscalculated, which really sucks. But really, really good job by AP, in my opinion.
I don't have him as my surprise because I'm not surprised.
I'm
a real fan, okay? Real fan. I do have him later on in this.
Staying with 450s, let's talk a little bit about letdowns. And for my letdown, we hyped him up for 10 minutes earlier, but it's Tomac. The reason why I'm let down is because we don't see Tomac make that mistake. Now, it could be a whole bike issue. Yeah, like a long time. But it could be a bike issue. It could be just overriding. Like, it could be a bunch of stuff. But you don't see him do that. Or at least recently, you don't see him do that. And that's why I'm let down, because I wanted him to just go through the pack and get up to 2nd, win that overall. It was definitely his race to potentially get the overall. And yeah, just let down that we didn't get to see beast mode for another 10 minutes. And still amazing performance by Tomac, though, winning first moto.
Yeah, that is also my letdown. And honestly, just as like a viewer, because I really wanted him to just go farther and like have that tension. I will say, luckily, Tomac is like probably one of the more mentally sound dudes and probably isn't going to get wavered by like a P9, where I think that would like crush a lot of people and their, you know, their mental side of the championship. However, I feel like he's got to win a moto, at least a moto at Thunder Valley, right? And at least battle. Like, you can't, if he does this again, might be tough on the old psyche, you know? But I don't know. I mean, Tomac doesn't really strike me as a guy that's like easily wavered, you know? I feel like he's pretty mentally sound, but you never know.
I think he needs to 100% win a moto at Lakewood, and I would actually back it up and say he needs to win the 2nd moto, because going back the last 2 races, Jett has dominated the 2nd motos. Like, Jett's figured out what his issue was in the first moto and dominated 2nd moto. I think Tomac 100% needs to win that 2nd moto at Lakewood and show like, hey, I'm still the beast that I am, right? I can still win this. And even if he gets a mediocre start, I want to see him go up to the lead and pass for the lead, or even stay in the lead. So let's move forward to the 250 letdowns. And I have a few guys here, to be fair. First guy, Chance Hymas. Now, I will preference this by saying he was sick. He had food poisoning during the week, so he wasn't able to like have his proper week. So I get it. He was sick. Ty Masterpool was also sick. I guess a lot of the 250 guys was sick. Deegan was sick. So we got to figure something out. Like, I don't know why everybody's sick. But technically, if we're just looking at the race, Hymus is a letdown. He was out front. Was he out front? He was like second, I think, maybe something like that, behind Casey Cochran, I believe, and then just started to fade and fade and fade and fade, and then he didn't even finish the second moto. I get it's food poisoning. I get it. I'm just let down that he is sick, I guess, and he didn't actually live up to the potential of him battling with like Deegan, right? Second guy, Seth, mediocre first moto. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he finished 6th place. Not great. Not great at all. And then second moto, he had a great start. Top 6, I think it was. Goes down with Nate Thrasher going up the hill. 5 seconds later, he goes down again. I have not seen that crash. I don't think anybody's even posted about it. I don't think there's any footage of it, I guess. Or maybe someone can send it to us in the comments or DMs or something. But then he DNF'd second moto. So I'm let down about that. And then third guy, it's the reverse of this, which is Tom Vial. He crashed in the first moto. And I think he was like 6, man. Like super high up. Goes down. Doesn't finish. I know he got banged up with Ryder D, as we mentioned earlier. And then second moto, obviously he's banged up. He was only able to get an 8th. So I'm just let down because those are title contenders that we have
Not
talked
anymore.
about. I know, but like those are the title contenders, and all 3 of them didn't finish a moto. So I don't know. It just sucks.
Yeah, I have Tom for mine because, okay, the other guys are sick. I mean, that's a good excuse. And like sickness varies, right? You know, like you can be a little bit sick, a lot of bit sick. So like, who knows? Deegan being sick and still bodying everybody, that's not ideal if I'm the comp, right? I'm not the comp because I'm not fast. Okay, chat, chill. But everyone else that was sick. Now, I thought they said that Chance wasn't allowed to ride. Like they suggested I thought they said in the broadcast that they like urged him not to do the second moto, the A-Star Medical Group.
That I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't remember.
I thought I heard that, but Tom, to my knowledge, isn't sick. He's a 2-time world champ. I don't think we should be getting 8th.
I also don't think he should be washing his front end and then not finishing the race.
Yeah, right. Like I don't know. There's like, it just doesn't really seem, and I'll get to this with my hot take. The guys that I think should have a lot of fight don't seem to have a lot of fight, and they kind of like roll over. And again, like, guys, I don't know the situation. Maybe Tommy's ribs were up in his forehead or something. I don't know, right? Like maybe it's way worse than it looked. However, like Jeffrey Herling's tried to do a race with a broken leg, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Also, we gotta put on this list Jeremy Martin. Yeah, he crashed in first moto, didn't finish either. He went down pretty hard. He was in like top 12, I think, when he crashed. At one point, I know he was in 14th, and then obviously he didn't even start the second moto because of the crash. So that's very unfortunate.
That one I do understand him not doing second moto. Like, hey man, he's just having fun. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like,
I totally get it. It's still a letdown though. You gotta.
I agree.
It's still a letdown. I also heard a rumor. Shout out to Lewis on Twitter. He said that his time with Star might be up. Like not even a third race. It is only a 3-race deal. He might cut it short.
I thought they said he was in for the whole season.
The PR was misinformed. Like the PR kind of gave us the wrong impression, and Jeremy cleared it up last week or this week at Hangtown press conference Thursday, Friday, or whatever it was, and he said it's only a 3-race deal, and now it might be over after 2. I'm not going to blame him. I mean, first race didn't go well. Second race he's banged up already, crashed out. I mean,
also I will say, clarify here that it's really easy for us to sit here in our nice little air conditioning, behind a microphone and criticize the guys not racing. This is why we say we don't know, because we literally don't know. I just feel like most of the guys in this sport are beyond tough. Like, I have seen Chase Sexton ride with some of the gnarliest road rash on his back, and Austin Faulkner, and I've seen these guys push through for years, different people. And so I guess where I come from, like for Tom not finishing, it's just strange. Like, and even Sexton not finishing last week, it's strange that crash from Sexton, there's no broken bones, it's just a road rash, or like they're just banged up. I've been hearing a lot of banged up lately, and it's strange to me because banged up is just kind of what we do, in the sport. And it's just surprising that the top guys that are title contenders, it's not surprising Jeremy Martin's banged up and said, hey, I'm out. That's a bummer, but I understand. Tom, Chase, it's really weird that they're just banged up. That's what comes out. Maybe there's more. They're banged up and then they just take the L on an entire moto. Wild.
I believe that's where our sport needs to grow. Like, we need clarification of what the injuries are. And for example, Chase saying banged up and bruised, but he's missing 4 weeks. Like, if you're saying as what you're saying, like, if everybody's tough, why are we missing 4 weeks? Okay.
Especially Chase. Chase is not a wuss. Right?
Yeah, like why are we missing 4 weeks if you're banged up? You know what I mean by that? Up. So like, there's something obviously wrong. Yeah. And they just don't want to clarify it. And I think that's where our sport needs to grow. And I would love our sports to grow. Like NFL players, NBA players. I've said this on Twitter. Within one day of what the freaking injury is. Like severe concussion, torn ACL, torn Achilles. Like, we need to be on that level. If we want to grow the sport, we need to be having some clarifications of what the issue is with these riders instead of saying we're banged up and he's going to be sitting out. Why is he sitting out?
Cameron McAdoo, okay? Daytona a couple years ago, all right? That guy became one with a bridge, all right?
He really did.
Like, literally became one with the bridge and still raced. Didn't he get a podium? Like, these dudes are insane.
He literally had AMA change the rule because of him. He caused the red flag and he was still able to race. And they said, if you cause the red flag, you can't race anymore. They changed the rule because of him.
I'm not buying banged up, boys.
Yeah, so something's wrong. We don't know what it is. Obviously, we just get what we get from Instagram posts and PRs and Racer X and stuff like that. But just our sport needs to grow to higher heights. And we need to have some clarification of what these injuries are, man. Like, as fans, I think everybody kind of wants to know, like, why are we sitting out 4 weeks? I don't know. Our tangent's over.
I got a great hot take on that at the end of the. Stick around.
Okay, give us 5 minutes because we're gonna go through best rides here. Let's start with the 450s. Best rides. I have two of them.
Sorry.
Okay. You could AP.
AP baby.
My best rides were Lorenzo Lacruccio. He finished 15th as a privateer. That's freaking awesome. Okay. Really mad props to him. If you guys saw on the TV, he actually got in Tomac's way a little bit. Just saying. That's what Doc mentioned earlier when Tomac was super aggressive and he parked him. That was him. And then my second guy is Cooper Webb. And he went 7-7 on the day. I want to just show some love to Cooper because I love what he's doing this outdoor season. He's having fun. He's just racing his motorcycle. He's honestly not caring what place he's get. Obviously, he wants to do better and get better and stuff like that. But he's out there beating a two-time champ, Jorge Prado. He's beating Anderson. He's beating like all these great guys. And I think he's riding great. And I love to see the fight in him. And I honestly am just enjoying him riding and battling and like seeing what he can do each weekend. That's really all I'm doing is enjoying it.
This is the worst we're going to see of Coop too. He just gets better. Like, he sucks. Relative, okay? Sucks on the West Coast tracks and is really good on the East Coast tracks.
Yeah. So I just love what I'm seeing from Webb. So
still not great outdoors. Still not great outdoors, but we'll be better.
Yeah. And you're saying AP is your best ride? Yeah. Great. AP rode great. We talked about him earlier. I'm surprised.
I have to say, no, I'm not surprised. What I was surprised is how he backed it up Moto 2. That first moto, clearly he put it all on the table. And again, very similar to Joe, it showed me that AP is the whole package right now. Fitness is great. He can go, 35 minutes with Tomac breathing down his neck at Hangtown in 103 and come back and still fight for a podium Moto 2. That's sick. I'm so stoked for him. I think he surprised himself too, which is always super cool. And we love to see that.
And he's also coming into the series uninjured. He's healthy. And that makes for a dangerous AP going back east, like what we've been talking about. For 250s, best ride, I only have one, and it's the 9th place rider in Dylan Schwartz, bro. Phenomenal ride by Dylan. He finished 913 for a 9th overall. There's a couple other guys that I would say did really well. One is my 10th place prediction, Mikel Harup. He went 10-9. All I have to say is that should have been like a 10th place. I should have got a freaking point for that. But people DNF. So he got 7th overall. So great ride by him, obviously. But yeah, Dylan Schwartz, he's on Bar X Yamaha privateer team. And he got 9th place and beating some of the best guys in the world. Michael Mosman, Casey Cochran, Drew Adams, Max Volan, Seth Hammaker, Austin Fortner, Tommy V, Ryder D, Chance Heim. It's like he's beating all these guys. He rode phenomenal. Got to give it to him.
I got a sleeper 250 best ride for you. And then you already said his name, Michael Mosman. Now, the results say 517. However, if he doesn't tuck the front, it was 5-3 or like 5-2 or something, 5 podium. And that would have put him 4th overall. I think it's a great ride. 2 top 5s for Michael Mosman. I don't think the results show how good he rode. Obviously, they don't because he crashed, but I think he looked really good too.
And I will say that Hangtown has not been his best track. He's crashed there and almost had a career-ending neck injury there on the same jump that he crashed in Moto 2. He also got hurt prior to that at that track, so it's not the greatest of tracks for him. But yeah, he was actually riding so good. I wish he didn't tuck the front there and like get high-sided, but yeah, I mean, gotta give it to Michael as well. Okay, but now let's go to our hot takes, okay? And I'm gonna start with my 250 hot take. And this is kind of like maybe a little bold prediction for the rest of the season. We're kind of throwing this in here just to change it up a little bit. And well, my 250 hot take here is Haiden Deegan will have more overall points than everybody combined in the SMX championship. And what I mean by that is he will have more points than all the 450s, all the 250s. He would be the #1 guy in points when it's all said and done before going into the playoffs. He currently has 271. Cooper Webb has 380. So he's down 110, but I think it's possible. I really do.
That's crazy because of the split coast, because you only race half the races.
Exactly. And I also want to give a big shout out to the boy Tank for mentioning this in the comments. I'm stealing your hot take here, but I mean, I think it is possible, and that's why I'm saying it's a hot take. It's a bold one, but it might come true. So
my hot take for 250 class is Deegan may not win every single moto, but he's going to win every overall.
I think that's very, very possible. You might not go
undefeated. I don't even think
like
it's really that hot, to be honest. How, guys? How do you? Unless he crashes, but like, I just think he's too smart this year.
I said this in our review. Top 7, top 5 start, he wins. He proved it again.
Obviously, anything can happen. People can crash. Look at Forkner, A1, gate drops, crashes on the start before the corner, right? Season's over. Anything can happen. It's moto. That's why we love it. He just looks too dang good not to win every overall.
For my 450 hot take, I have Justin Cooper winning a overall this year.
Ooh.
I think it might happen. Okay. I mean, think about this for a second. If we have a scenario with Tomac going down, getting 9th, we have a similar thing with Jett, possibly, and J Coop is just solid 2-2, and gets that overall. I think it might be possible. So that's my hot take for the rest of the season. J Coop might win a race.
It's possible. I mean, like, obviously it's possible. J Coop's riding incredible. Man. Yeah. I guess I could see it. Okay. My hot take. All right. Has to do with Sexton, clearly, as Sexton's not hurt. He sat out, and I would bet he doesn't come back.
The rumor is he's coming back for Southwick.
They said Redbud. Now it's Southwick.
I don't. Southwick is before Redbud too.
You know what I mean. I don't know. I mean,
it is very strange that he's just sitting out 4 weeks and we don't know the injury. I 100% believe that's completely wild. And
I don't think he's hurt.
I think it might be a Cooper Webb situation once again with KTM, where he just severs his contract and goes somewhere else next year, even for SMX, because Cooper did the same thing at SMX. He jumped on the Yamaha for SMX playoffs. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to actually see the same thing, but
I don't think Chase is hurt. And like, if unless he's broken, which I feel like they would have said, like arm broken, fingers broken, which again, I don't think he could break an arm, break a finger, and come back in time, like for Southwick or Redbud. I don't think he's hurt. I really don't. I think he realized in that moment. I mean, again, I'm just bench racing here, okay? But I think he realized in that moment his ship was done. You know, after that race, it's over. No way we're beating those two.
I will also say this. He's raced 103 out of the last 107 races. Obviously, not Hangtown, right? But he's raced 103 out of 108 races here. He's probably just mentally and physically exhausted, right? And he needs a couple week break, or I guess 4 or 5 week break. At that point, just take the summer off, man, and come back for SMX.
I really don't think there's an injury involved. I think it's something like that. And like it's interesting that it's KTM back to back, or not back to back, but like it's KTM again, because we've never really seen that happen with any other manufacturer. It could be something with like how their contract's written, that like there's some security, financial security there, that like he has that option, which is crazy if they had that written in the contract. I don't know why they would, but who knows? Like I just got second in the Supercross chip. I was pretty heavy on him, even though I think he played it off. I feel like I could tell it seemed to bother him a lot. Obviously, he was better at the end of that year and got second. First thing we go down, we have to sit the moto out. It's just not like Sexton to not come back for Moto 2. That guy is like not a huge Sexton Glazer, but like, dude, that guy is a dog and will fight no matter what. It's just really surprising.
That's exactly it. He's a dog. He's raced 103 out of 108 races, man. Like we don't see this. We don't typically see this. I mean, even Anderson came back and we didn't know what happened with him. He's back for Moto. Like we don't normally see this situation, but that is kind of a hot take. I will tell you that.
I'm not surprised if he's like, not feeling the best. We're just going to come back at SMX, and then he shows up on a Cowie.
That's the thing too. I mean, I don't know. I mean, will Cowie put up 3 bikes in, because Anderson's contract is still there, right? So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. So that's our kind of overall ranting, bench racing about Hangtown. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure you guys hit that like and sub button. Thank you guys so much for all of the love on all the videos recently. You guys are absolutely killing it. Whether we're doing Pro Moto or we're doing MXGP, you guys are absolutely killing it. So thank you guys very, very much for that. We will be back here with our predictions on Thursday, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And yeah, I think we have Hangtown and we have Lakewood and MXGP this weekend, so stay tuned. But appreciate you guys. Much love. Stay safe. We're out.